Ugh, that feeling of procrastination, right? We all know it, we all hate it. You've got that one big task just hanging over your head. But what if I told you the secret to beating it wasn't about some superhuman willpower, but a simple, powerful 1-minute trick? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into. Okay, so first things first, we have to understand what we're really up against. And you know what? It's not the task itself. It's that invisible barrier that just pops up before we can even begin. Let's just call it the wall of later. I mean, you know this feeling, right? The cursor is just blinking on a blank page, the gym clothes are sitting right there, you know exactly what you need to do, but your brain just hits a wall, a complete roadblock. You're just stuck. And in that moment, our brain tells us this story. We look at the entire task, writing the whole 10-page report, running the full marathon, deep cleaning the entire apartment, and it just feels like this impossibly huge mountain. Just looking up at the peak is exhausting. But here's the thing, that is totally the wrong way to look at it. The problem isn't the mountain at all. It's so much smaller. The real problem is just a locked door at the very, very beginning of the trail. See, the issue isn't the work, it's the starting. And that locked door brings us to a huge, huge misunderstanding that almost all of us have. Let's call it the motivation myth. Turns out most of us have the entire formula for getting motivated completely, fundamentally backwards. This right here, this flips the entire script. We spend our whole lives believing the myth that we have to feel motivated before we can take action. We sit around and wait for inspiration to magically strike. But the psychological truth? It's the exact opposite. Action has to come first. The action itself is the spark that creates the motivation. Exactly. I love this. Motivation isn't some cosmic wave that washes over you while you're sitting on the couch. It's a consequence. It's something you literally generate yourself, just by beginning. So the key takeaway here is we have to stop waiting and start creating. And here's the best part. This isn't just a one-time thing. It's a powerful, self-perpetuating cycle. We'll call it the action-first cycle. And it shows you how the tiniest little spark can ignite a whole wildfire of progress. So what we're really talking about here is the motivation cycle. And it's basically a positive feedback loop. You do one tiny little thing, your brain goes, hey, we did something, and you get a little hit of accomplishment. And that good feeling, that is the motivation that makes you want to do the next thing. I mean, look how simple this loop is. It all starts with one, almost laughably small action. That action immediately gives you a small win, and that win creates a genuine spark of motivation, which then fuels, yep, you guessed it, another action. It's an engine that literally powers itself. Okay, so that's the theory. Great. But how do we actually get that engine started, right? How do we unlock that door we were talking about? Well, this brings us to the super simple, practical tool you can use right away, your 1-minute catalyst. That's it. That is the whole key. 1 minute. Just 60 seconds. That is all the commitment you need to make to yourself to get this whole thing rolling. And listen, this is a really important mindset shift. The goal of this 1 minute is not to finish the task. It's not even to make a big dent in it. The only goal is to start. Just work on it for 60 seconds, and then you have full permission to stop. You're just turning the key in the lock. That's it. So what does this look like in the real world? Honestly, it's almost silly how small these actions can be. Need to write that big report? Just read 1 page. Dreading that tough email? Just write the subject line. Want to go for a run but can't get out the door? Seriously, just put on 1 running shoe. The bar for starting is so low, it's basically impossible to fail. All right, so let's bring all this home. This isn't just some interesting little theory. This is a real tool you can use the second this is over. This is all about turning this idea into your reality. I want you to think about it like this. The real fight isn't with the task, it's with inertia. Like pushing a huge boulder, getting it to move from a dead stop is the hardest part, right? But once it's rolling, even just a little, keeping it going is 1,000 times easier. That first tiny step gets the boulder moving. So I'm going to leave you with this one final thought. Forget about the mountain for a second. Forget about the finish line. Just look at what's right in front of you and ask yourself this. What is the 1-minute action you can take right now to just unlock the door?